Hello, and welcome to the Salesforce Center podcast by MassMailer, where we connect with Salesforce experts, customers, and innovators to talk about smarter, more effective email communication within Salesforce. I'm your host, 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦, co-founder of MassMailer. In this episode, I'll be joined by Michael from a healthcare services provider. Michael will outline his journey with MassMailer for Salesforce and the ways it has strengthened their client communication approach. Let us dive right in.
Salesforce is a kind of a back end for clients to basically get some status on some of their outcomes. And so what we do is we use MassMailer from a real-time notification standpoint. When certain things in the system hit certain stages, we're using emails to send out to different people or distribution groups so that they can get their statuses and then log into the portal and kind of see it there, right? So we shoot them out a link with a name and everything like that. The reason why we chose to do that is we were inside of Salesforce's 5,000 emails a day limit, right? And we had other things that were hitting occasionally and then blowing us past that limit. So we wanted to dedicate these outbound emails that are going to clients that are distributions, sometimes not always users or anything like that, to shoot those out to the client and then just have them log into our system and check their status. So from our experience, it's been going pretty good. We're transitioning all of our clients are over to it who are using that notifications. When we built this, we built it so that we can toggle your service on or off. And also at certain hospital levels, we built in a kind of a toggle that allows us to turn this off, use Salesforce if we need to, and then we can implement this at an individual client level too. So there's some configurations at the account level we can do to say, hey, use this service versus Salesforce. And we built that in because if Salesforce ever goes down, we're going to toggle to you and vice versa, right? If you guys don't. And so it's been working pretty good. We've got, I think, 75% of our clients onboarding. So you're probably seeing volumes go up a little bit from time to time. We're looking at other places we can kind of implement it at this point. There may be other emails that we send out that we want to offload, but we have been focused primarily on just getting all the clients up and running. When new clients come on board, we've been trying to implement them into the MassMailer type notifications right away to not eat up a bunch of licenses or spots in the 5,000. So that's kind of a high level overview of what we're doing.
Wonderful. And what kind of emails are these, and what's the business use case like?
It's real-time status notifications. So to tell people that, hey, something's changed in our system and you should go look at it in the community. So it sends them a link to the community login and all that stuff in the email. They can say, okay, I see you changed something. Let me go look what they did, blah, 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 read notes, do whatever. So it's mostly for real-time notifications.
Real-time notifications in the community portal, basically. That's where you're...
Essentially, yep. At this point, yep.
Okay. And what kind of service that you provide, and who is the audience? Is that patients, providers, healthcare providers?
It's providers, yeah. It's we do basically consulting services for hospitals, and we do consulting services for hospitals, and it's really like case managers or specialists who are the target audience who receive these emails because they're looking for updates in as close to real time as possible related to cases that are still pending in their system. So we're to the hospital or to the providers essentially.
Oh, okay, I got it. And the benefit is basically you're able to bypass the Salesforce email limitations. But other than that, are you seeing any other benefits other than the limits?
Let me think about that. Other
statistics.
Well, we like it from the perspective that I mentioned earlier. One of the benefits for us is redundancy, right? If something goes down with Salesforce emailing process, we can use yours. If something goes down with yours, we can go back to Salesforce. And so I think that we have email like redundancy on our cases essentially.
Oh, okay. So you architected your solution in such a way that you can toggle between both services based on the service level. If one system goes down, the other system can be picked up. Is that real time, or do you have to do it manually, the toggling things?
The toggling is a manual setting at the hospital level or a global setting that just says choose this one regardless. So we can toggle it at either location. So one of the things that we've also run into, and this happens to your service and it happens to Salesforce, right? Is when we're dealing with spam filters and things like that. Sometimes we set up a client with this, out of the box, maybe with Salesforce, and then they're like, we can't get these emails, but we need to whitelist these IPs and blah, blah, blah. Well, in the short term, we can always toggle it to the other service to see if that gets through and not caught up in their spam filters. It can happen to either service. You just never know client by client, right? And so that gives us a little bit of wiggle room to basically switch the service to the other one and then work with their IT to make sure that, that we figure out why that's not working. So it gives us two distribution methods for emailing. That's primarily, I'd say that's probably one of the bigger benefits for us at this point, because we're still very niche in the way that we're using it. So we haven't expanded it much past the notifications at this point. Maybe we will.
Right. Okay. So you think that there could be other areas where MassMailer could benefit your organization then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting it implemented. Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of an email platform that you're using today for any sort of campaigning and everything?
No, we don't do any marketing. You're talking about marketing type events?
Yeah. Anything that you do, not transactional emails, but any other business type of emails?
Not at this time. And we have pretty limited use case. We don't really do any marketing out of here. It's not really it's not your typical sales org. You know what I mean? It's almost more of a support org, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's more of a support.
I got it. Wonderful.
Marketing and sales and marketing. It's not. We don't do that in here. We have other applications in other parts of the business that do that.
Okay. And you're basically using the API service from MassMailer to support this transactional emails?
Almost exclusively. We do use the the interface just when we bring on a client. When we bring them up, we say, hey, can you guys, we'll try to use this service. We want to bring them up on this service. So we'll say, like, as part of our implementation, we'll say, hey, we'll send some test records to these people. We assume that if we can get it through to a couple people, then we don't have spam filter problems. Sometimes we do. And if we do, then we say, okay, don't bring this person up on MassMailer, bring them up to Salesforce. We rinse and repeat. And usually one of the two is going to work.
Okay. And that's so one aspect is the deliverability. Other aspect is basically bypassing the 5,000 limit. So these are the two benefits that you get. Okay.
Yeah, we're aware of Salesforce. If you send it to a contact user, you don't hit that limit. But we have a lot of things hard coded out into the application for distributions on these things because it gets pretty dynamic in terms of who they want to contact for different use cases. And we didn't want to build a huge configuration into the back end for that, where you're reading from who are these people. So instead, we just kind of hard coded the notifications directly to people and distribution groups.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that actually gives me a real good sense of how you're using MassMailer because this is not very common, to be honest. And I'm happy to see that kind of creating a flexible service for your organization, choosing between both the providers based on, the deliverability aspect and the limits and everything. Yeah, wonderful.
Exactly. We had this with us one time when we had some processes go rogue and it burned up all the Salesforce emails for the day, and it created quite a bit of disruption for our real-time notifications. Some of the other things that aren't real-time notifications, we don't really care, but we're let's keep this service up under all conditions. Otherwise, we end up at a substantial problem. And so this solves that problem with saying, hey, we're going outside of those limits entirely for these processes. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, wonderful. And do you also use any SMS service provider today?
Not at this point. No, we don't. There's been discussions. Maybe someday we would. It's not a hot button issue. Nobody's really talking about it right now. It's just historically we've talked about it, but we are not doing that at this point. All
right, perfect. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it. This has been a great conversation. For me, it's an eye-opening thing as well. That have a good day. Thank you. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Salesforce Center podcast by MassMailer. We truly appreciate your time and interest. If you would like to learn more about how MassMailer can help you simplify and supercharge your email outreach in Salesforce, visit us at massmailer.io or give us a call at 1-800-297-0991 or send us an email at hello@massmailer.io. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm 𝗟𝗧𝗦, and we'll meet you again in the next episode of the Salesforce Center. Take care.